Good day, good day, good day. Thank you for tuning in to Truth and Purpose Nexus. As always, it's your boy, Truth. Excuse me, also known as Truth is Never Favorite. In this season and time, I am known as Imago Day. When you come in, please like, sub, share, and support the show by hitting the Cash App. The Cash App is down on the scroll bar. $ MIGUELUILI. All financial support is greatly appreciated. It will go to the family and it will go to the church that we are fortifying. If you cannot financially support, that is just fine. The simple fact that you came over here and contributed to the channel by liking, subbing, and subscribing, making a comment in the chat and a comment afterwards. Like I said, whatever comment it is, hopefully it's not too derogatory. But whatever comment, it's a comment. That will be greatly appreciated. Okay, thank you very much. As always, over here, we're promoting how to be AMGs, authentic men of God, here in today's climate. For some reason, we think that the biblical scriptures is for a certain time period. When God says he's the same today, yesterday, he's the same yesterday, today, and forever. He is the one who is and was and is to come. So that means he's throughout all the ages. He created time, so he transcends it. So there is no point in time where his words were specifically for. They are everlasting, like he is everlasting. So once again, these are ignorant statements from people that clearly don't read the word nor understand it. The biblical times is for us in our present day and for the future if we are able to be blessed with one. Okay? It is for our learning. We study to show out thyself approved. We go line before line, precept upon precept. With all thy getting, get understanding. These are the things that we acquire to be able to gain purposeful application of the word to use it to our daily living. That's what it's for. If you're using for any other reason other than that, you will not get the beneficiary qualities from it that is needed for you to have power in your daily life to be able to conquer the enemy out there, which is the enemy outside of yourself, external, which is the adversary, the accuser, the father of lies, Satan himself, and then the inward, the internal enemy, which is yourself. The war with the flesh and the spirit. These are the things that the scriptures help us battle with. And without God, through Jesus Christ, by the Holy Spirit, we do not have the capabilities to win this war on our own. Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. Okay? And that lets you know where your help, where your power, where your safe place is in Christ Jesus. Plain and simple. Okay, today it says, do you really love how you say you do? This is interesting because when you hear people say, yeah, I love you, whether you're together, whether you're not together, somebody asks, do you love that person? They say, yeah, I do. Do you really love them? Which is the question. Do you love them from the basis of your understanding of what love is, or do you love them basis off the understanding of what God say love is? Because if it's for a time period where everything is always okay and it's not problematic, that's not love, because we know that doesn't exist nowhere. If it's for a time period where there's conflict and you can't see how you are an extreme catalyst in a situation, that's not love. Not the one that God speaks about. What I notice is love is pertaining to someone getting something from someone else, not someone giving something to someone, because that is what love actually is. Love is outward pouring. So you're giving love to someone else. It is always giving. Always giving. You are blessed when where you send your love, if it's returned, if it's reciprocated, that's a blessing. But the fundamental basis of love is to be outwardly giving. The greatest example we have is Christ on the cross. He outwardly gave his love by going to allow himself to sacrifice himself and allow himself to be deleted. Because we fully well know who he is and what he's capable of, which is anything he wants to. But he chose to allow that body that he inhabited to be destroyed. That's love. And he allowed it for everyone that has ever came here, everyone that exists now, everyone that is about to come in existence. He did that for all of us. That we have a key, a way to get out of this. That's love. No greater love than this, that a man lay his life down for his friends. A new commandment I give you. Love others as I have loved you. Love others. Or correct verbiage is love one another as I have loved you. Love one another. That's love. And if you line those statements up and you don't see that performance in your life, you have never demonstrated that performance, then you have never loved nobody. We got to get out this habit to think that things that exist before us, we can do it the way we want to do it. We can distribute it and exemplify it the way we want to do it and then call it the originated form. We got to get out because that habit of my truth, the way I think, how I want it, that selfishness, that ego, that stuff is destructive. Because if you believe that you're doing something and you're not doing it, how can you see how to correct it so you can get it right? Especially if you have no one there to tell you, or you have someone to tell you, but you don't want to listen. You don't want to listen at all. So the answer is, do you really love how you say you do? No, you don't. You love based off of your understanding and what you have received throughout your experience until you learn differently. And I'm speaking from experience. How I love the first 28 years of my life compared to the last 13 is a stark difference. And for some reason, you guys think you can be good, you can love, you can do right without God. For some reason, you think you have that ability. And if you look at it earnestly, you will see you're not loving like God. You're not being right like God. You're not doing good like God. Why? Because you're making it known for yourself. Somewhere along the lines, you get a gain from it instead of God getting the glory of it. That's how you know when you're doing it the right way, when it brings God glory. And if you look at your actions, how can hurting people be, oh, I love you? Willfully, directly hurting people and destroying lives, and you say you do that because you love them, you love the other people, that shows that there is something clearly wrong with you. I have three examples because someone today, I was on a panel today, and after this live, I'll probably return back to that show and panel. And somebody said that they're back to talking about deleting male babies again. And what I said is, well, they're entitled to what they, want to believe in, what they want to say, because this is the world we live in where we are not held accountable for the things that we say. So we're allowed to say the things that is on our mind without any repercussions. And then these women that are saying these things, that really mean these things, if you have a male child, you can lie to someone else about you have a on and off switch to the hatred you have towards males, especially black males. You can lie to someone else. That hatred and vigor and destructive thinking, it's no way you're watching that boy grow into a man and you're like, oh yeah, I love men now. That's a lie. If you think the world is misogynistic, the Bible's misogynistic, and God is misogynistic, any of those things, how can you love a boy child? Oh, I love it because it came from me. It is a male. It's going to grow up thinking like a male, feeling like a male, responding like a male, having emotions like a man, like a black male child. That's what it's going to do. If raised properly, it's not going to want to be under your thumb because that's not its design. It is not designed for any female on this planet to lord over it. And see, that's what happens. Mothers have problems with men, and then they have a male child, and then they want to try to make that male child into the man that they want it to be instead of the man it's supposed to be. And that's where the effeminate and feminine energy starts transferring into that male child, and then you created another female that is anatomically correct downstairs as a male gender child. Turning that baby into a transforming Decepticon because you want to implement how you are into a male baby, which is heresy. You guys clearly don't know what love is. You don't love what you say you do. Y'all don't. Y'all say somebody doesn't love you because they don't allow you to behave, to perform, to think, to reason, to act upon, and out of ignorance. Uncooperative, hard-headedness, rebellion, unruly, out of control, out of order. Somebody said the other day that Women like men that are projects for them to try to fix and mold how they want to. I'm starting to realize how that is true. They like them for a time period, but then eventually they biologically and innately still want a man that tells them how that they need to be corrected, to be disciplined, to be structured, to be organized, to be prompt, to be proactive, to bring order to that chaos. Eventually, they're going to yearn for that. But that yes man stuff, that only calling somebody when you need something and they give it. See, they can't see outside themselves. They can't see how they interact with their dads, their uncles, their brothers, their cousins, all their male children and counterparts, male children, uncles, cousins, older or younger. These women are not looking that when they're interacting with them, they are getting something from them, not them giving something to them. You don't call your father for correction, for leadership, for guidance, for instruction, for direction. You don't call him for none of that. You call him to say, Daddy, I need something. I need some money. I want some food. I want this. I want that. That ain't loving your father. That ain't loving your father. But of course, from your understanding, that's loving, asking for somebody to give you something. It is a very dangerous precedent and period in today's time to be having children. And not because of the outside world, because the outside world is always going to be destructive. The inward household to the divisions of family, of husbands and wives, mothers and fathers, is a terrible thing. We have parents out here that, as long as they do it their way, they do not care how it destroys the child. They don't. And based off of the relationship that they had with the father, that's how they treat the child. Especially if the child, when the child is starting to grow older, and those traits that the father has start to become more prevalent and more dominant than what you wanted to happen, because that's nature, that's biology. Whether you like it or you want to believe the world or of all these things, that baby, them traits that father put inside it, it's going to show. It's going to show. If that father's authoritative and dominant and like what people call mannish and masculine personified, it's going to show. And a lot of mothers, what they try to do is they try to overly correct and discipline or beat the heck out of the daggone boy child to try to get him not to perform or move as a man. They mistreat it. They say, "Oh yeah, we don't need to spoil it," and it's just a baby. Just a baby. We don't need to spoil it, and it's just a baby. But if it was a girl child, you'll be spoiling it all the way up until it's adult age. You'll be spoiling it. Y'all don't have the love like you say you do. You don't. And you don't have nobody around you that examines you to tell you you don't have what you say you have. The most destructive things I've seen was someone that was sick. A male that was 16 years old, and he thought he had a daughter at 16 in high school. And later on, because of the conflict that was happening once again between him and the mother, and then the mothers, the family members, he wasn't able to see his daughter, and he had to go to school to deal with this thing. So he's growing, trying to find out what it means to man, trying to find out what it means to be a father, trying to be what he knows how to be a father by doing certain things, and being present with the child. Just to call up his older brother one day and say, "Can you please come see me for a minute?" He opens the door, asks you, "Hey, I just got this letter from the DNA reference," and I open it up. I'm reading it, but I don't understand what it's saying. Can you help me? Can you help me? So that brother, opens the letter and read it, and he looks into his brother's eyes, and his brother looked back, and he asks me, "Did you read what I read? Is it saying what I think it's saying?" And the older brother says, "Yes. That baby is not yours." That's a 16-year-old boy. That's a child. And his heart was into taking care of another child that he believed came from him. And he was told that he was lied to. And all he could do is cry and ask, why would they do that? Why would somebody do that to me? Why? Why would you lie and say this is my baby when it's not? I love the baby, so it's not mine. What can I do? That's not my daughter. That she has my last name. I fed her. I changed her. I loved her. I woke up in the middle of the night while she was crying. I clothed her. I bathed her. That's not my baby. And all he could do is cry and hold his older brother. And those things, we don't understand how that changes somebody. We just interact with somebody at the first, our first interaction. That 16-year-old boy is now a 23-year-old man. And now you meet that 23-year-old man, and then he has this hardened shell around his heart. Because now he has to protect himself. He realized he can't be vulnerable in this world, because this world will tear you apart if you are vulnerable as a man. Fast forward, we have a 38-year-old man that was taking care of a boy since he was 24. The boy is 14. He calls that boy's brother up and say, "Hey, I know it's late, but I need you. Can you, I'm about to pull up. Can you come to the car for a minute?" Of course, sure. Because this person is always, the one that people call when they need the most. They'll come out and talk to them. Yeah, I just want to let you know, man. You were right. I should have been got a test. The boy, my 14-year-old son is not mine. So what am I supposed to do now? All the parties, all the doctor's appointments, all the school trips, the Christmases, the corrections, the playground, the bringing him around. He's not mine. Do I still love him? Can I still see him? Can I be around him? Or is it wrong for me wanting to do that? Or should I leave him alone? What should I do? This is what he's asking his friend. His day one, his man's. His man's then tell him, hey man, I can't tell you how to feel in this situation. Believe it or not, hearing you say it hurts me as well. Don't want nobody to go through that. The friend says my little brother went through it when he was 16 years old. In the way it changed him. The friend then say, well, I will tell you is if you are capable, if you're able to put aside, the hurt that you have, knowing that that is not biologically yours, and the mother, since she knows she has done a horrible thing, allows you to still love the child, then there's nothing wrong with loving that child. You was there for 14 years. There was no other man there. That's your baby. Once again, that baby has your last name. You love that baby. You changed that baby. You clothed it. So yeah, if she will allow you to, yeah, love that child because that child still needs love. That child didn't ask to be there. That child didn't ask to be a product of infidelity and lying and cheating and deception. It didn't. It didn't cause that. Someone else did. If you choose not to, you're not wrong there either. Saying, hey, this is not my child. I did what I was supposed to do. I did the right thing in the beginning. And since this is not my child, I no longer want to be responsible for it. You have a right to say that too. And then again, that 30-year-old man cried, saying, I don't know what to do. See, the craziest thing, people ask what created you and why you think the way you are and why you move the way you do. Do you honestly care? Will you understand if they tell you what happened? What happened to them? What made you like that? Would you believe them? Or would you tell them like they was already doing? What's the point? I can't change it. The world is not going to accept me being a failure. I still got to continue to go on. I might as well suck it up, make the adjustments, and keep moving forward. Forget my feelings. Forget what was done to me. People say, hey, I want to know about you because I love you. No, you don't. You wanted to know about it so you could have something to use to try to be destructive. You didn't want to know so you could be the opposite of what someone has endured. When a man gives his heart to something and puts everything that he has into it, and then somebody stomps on it, spits on it, and try to turn it as in he doesn't care. When the day he wakes up, he prays, and then the next thing you know, he's asking God, help me to conquer this day for my family, my wife, my children, my brothers, my sisters, my mother, my family, the neighbors down the street, Miss Shirley, Miss Banks. Mrs. George around the corner by the corner store. What if you are that person that has never, you've gave people authentic love and they don't know how to receive it, but they have never given you anything. They have always taken from you and want to say that they love you. And then they'll say, what have you done for me? Just ignorance. Just ignorance. And that's why I try to tell the guys on here. I'm not saying all guys are bad and all women are good and women they only can do the right thing and it's never women. That's not what I was saying. I said unless you're striving to do and be what's do the right thing and be a decent person in this world, like you're actually moving towards that. You're trying to give people inspiration. You make yourself available. You put an effort. You're trying to move as far away from how you used to be. You know, you identified how you was. You put a mirror up and say, that person, he needs to be put in the ground. And the person I am today needs to be cultivated, needs to flourish, needs to progress. And that is who I am today. If you are that type of man and you want marriage, not to be promiscuous, not to tie somebody down to just have them. You want marriage for the sake of God, for the sake of family, for the sake of what it was designed for, not for your own pleasures, not for the other person, not for you, for God first. And then everything else is a byproduct. If you want it that way, then I'm on your side. And then I will tell you, yes, it's going to be extremely hard out here to find a daughter of Sarah, a Proverbs 31, a Titus raised woman. And you could try to speak life, champion that individual, speak it into them. But if they do not work on their end to be that person and they think they're already that, and they have not prayed for it, they don't know the scriptures, they have not read it, they have not spoken into their own lives. They don't have no woman around them that is that, so they can exemplify it. When you hear somebody say, oh yeah, they love me, how they love me? Because they give me stuff. When you hear people say stuff like that, we need to do a better job of investigating the jobs we take, the people we interact with, not just relationships, that's even your family members. You don't have to allow your mother or your father to hurt you because other people is not going to understand what damaged you that way. They're not going to understand why you don't want to be around your father, why you don't want to be around your mother, why you don't want to be around your sister, why you don't want to be around your brother. People lie so much because they really believe there's no consequence. And then you'll see people talk and act like, why is my life like this and everything like that. And not look what you did to that man, years ago when he really came to love you. And all you had to do is just listen. All you had to do is just do the right thing. That's all you had to do. You ain't had to do nothing else. You ain't had to try to perform, put on a show, be something more than you not. All you had to do is be the number one need of a man. Respect him. If you guys agree, do what the agreement says. And not selfishly choose what you want to do over and over and over and over again. So no, I'm not coming down on all men. It's just majority of you guys are not trying to seek God. You're not trying to do the right thing. You're not trying to become better. You're not trying to work on things that were not good for you to change those things. You're not even trying to change them. You can't even go a month without doing them. That's one thing I can say. My weakness is I can go 30 days without demonstrating my weakness. But see, my problems is not what God expects of me on an individual relationship of what I need to change with inside, with just directly with my members and everything like that. My problem is dealing with people and in reacting to hateful, unloving, and selfish people. That have no integrity, no accountability, no responsibility, and no reciprocity. Are not honest, are not loyal, and daggone sure ain't committed. I have a problem with that because all those things I am. I give. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with anybody being that way. My own family members. And see, what I do now is I separate myself from people that move this way. Why? Because what happens is they don't want you to leave them. They will always want to be attached to you some type of way, right? But then if you react to where they are in their journey and their walk, because you don't like it, you don't like the way they behave, and they think they are allowed to move that way because of how selfish they are. They think they're allowed to, they want you to adapt to their communication style, not them adapt to your communication style. They want things one way. That's my problem with people. That's why my circle is very, very small. Because the people that I have around me, I don't get in no arguments with them. No distressful talks. Nothing. They don't disrespect me. I don't disrespect them. Have we ever had disagreements? Of course, with people. But the blessings that I have with them is I actually know what love is because they have shown it. So when anybody tell me that they love me, I have a template to match it up with. And I know if it doesn't look like that, because they have given me the love of God, they don't play with me, they don't disrespect me, and they daggone sure gonna hold me accountable. They don't want to hear it. How do we fix it? And I need you to fix it, Truth. Get it done. Simple. If that person is that demonstrative and destructive, get rid of them. If that job is that bad, get rid of it, get another one. We ain't got time for that. We got other things to do. That's how we as men got to move. And whenever I need them, they're always there, unless they absolutely cannot do it. Always. And they will say vice versa. They can call me up, they can get advice, anything. And the blessing about having them in my life is they are younger than me, but in a greater position than I am. Their marriages have been longer. Their children are all under one woman. And I can't change that because I have children with other women. But I can at least try to get my marriage correct. But the key thing is, which they will admit, they have amazing wives. Amazing. Amazing wives. And the respect their wives give them, not that they aren't women. Women are gonna be women. But when they saying, oh no, this ain't gonna work, watch it. Watch your mouth. Watch how you're speaking. You need to get yourself together. That's incorrect. They don't challenge them or try to buck up to them or be combative with them or be competitive with them. Like they on the same level, like we're men competitively trying to see who's going to submit first. The day that they told my brothers that they was going to marry them, they already gave up. They relinquished submission, control in order to my brothers. And that is not weakness, that's power. And the reason why they did it is because they knew what they had. They knew what type of men that they had. They knew my brothers would work and take care of them and love them and protect them and be, faithful to them. And see, that's what I encourage men to do. Be more faithful. Because if you're faithful, it's not too much a woman can say, even if it don't work. Because you didn't lie to her. As long as you ain't lied to her about who you are, what you expect, and if it ain't going to work, if it don't go this way, there's nothing that they can say. And us as men, we got to do a better job of getting out of relationships once we see it's not going to work. And the thing is, it's not that the other person is so horrible. It's just you're not supposed to, not supposed to be together. It's where they are at, they're not ready to be with you. Because relationships aren't really hard. It's I do this, you do that. That's really what it is. My duty is this, my duty is that. What happens when a woman is worried about what the man doing and a man is worried about what the woman doing, now we got a problem. Just do what you're supposed to do. Husbands, you have to lay your life down for your wife. You have to die for her. You have to live for her. You have to work yourself to the bone for her. You have to protect her even from herself. And wives, you have to listen to your husbands in everything. You have to do everything that they say to do. And of course, the ignorant is going to say, well, what about this? What about that? Nobody's talking about sinning or doing something wrong or watching yourself go down the drain to doom when they're absolutely doing something wrong. And not what you believe is wrong, but will be universally recognized as wrong to do. We overstep our boundaries because we don't know our places in this world, in relationships, in all forms of relationships. Those of us that are employees, we gotta learn to do better with our employers, even if they're horrific. Do what they still ask you to do. With your parents, still do what your parents ask you to do. Honor them. Honor thy mother and thy father, and thy days shall be longer in the land, says the Lord. That's the first commandment of promise. No, as a collective, you guys do not know what love is because you think love means take and not give, and it means give. It means serve. So when you say you love somebody, ask yourself, how have I served them? What exactly did I do? And be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. And that's the thing. We are not honest. Just be honest and say, yeah, I liked you, but I didn't love you. And I liked you until I didn't like the things you did. And then once I didn't like the things you did, I'm ready to leave. And then the crazy thing is we run around here lying about who left who and who didn't and didn't get fired from the job or left the job or resigned from the job or your parents um um uh, you left home because they was doing this and that. You know, we're never honest about what we actually did. And if we say we did something, we try to make it 10% and make the other person's 90%. We'll say a person needs to change, but they won't never change, but won't look at yourself, what you need to change. And be honest. Tell a person nothing so they can see exactly who you are. Nothing needs to be changed about me. Why? Because nobody ever said anything. Oh, I bet all you have is enablers or people that really don't know who you really are. And this is why it's important to always have other people when you're choosing jobs, choosing ways of life, choosing relationships. Uh, any counseling, you have to have somebody. And that's one thing that throughout, my time of being alive, I learned and I'm still learning to remember when times of trouble come, make sure you implement your safety blanket that God gave you, which is the people in your life that help you want to exceed to greater heights. I thank God for my three brothers and my father. I thank God for them. Yep. I love them, and I know they authentically love me. They love me because I'm just truth, not what I can do for them. And vice versa. I just love them because they're them. They're the only brothers that I'm going to have, and that's the only father that I'm going to have. So when you say you love somebody, actually love them and learn to love them. But we can't be running around here like I gave you the stories about the brothers when a woman did that to their children. You can't say you love somebody, but you lied to them about the children being theirs. You can't say you love somebody, but you try to keep their children away from them. You can't say you love somebody, but you try to turn the children against that person. Not try to help it work. Try to turn them against them. Work with them to be angry, to be hateful. To fail at the first commandment. Honor thy mother and thy father. You contributed to them breaking that commandment that God gave. But yet you love that person in them. Us as men, we have to do a better job of actually, authentically, earnestly showing that we want what we want. You want marriage? Be about marriage, nothing else. You want children? Be about children, nothing else. The Bible says, be angry and sin not. You are allowed to be angry, just don't sin. And sinning is saying things that Christ wouldn't say. And that's what somebody told me. If someone's acting or behaving in a certain way, use biblical terms. And I do that along with terms that I have learned, like cuss words and everything. But I'm going to start to make sure I use proper biblical terms when addressing people because I am allowed to call them what they are. I am allowed to identify them and call them the title that they are because that is what you are. Simple as that. And I can show you differently than what you can show me. We have to be better parents, better sons and better daughters, better mothers and better fathers, better husbands and better wives, better friends to each other. We have to be better. And when you fail at something, you don't cry about it. You get back up and try again. It ain't the end of the world. You got breath in your body. You seen another day. You still moving. You get yourself healthy. You working harder. You progressing in life. You got better jobs. You're earning more money. Things like that. Life is not over. You find something better. But if you don't love, actually, you will find out you have nothing. And before we close, we're going to always go to the word. Let's go to the word and find out what love actually is. Okay. First Corinthians 13. Have not charity. I am becoming as a sound brass or a tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I could remove a mountain and have not charity, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and have not charity, it profit me nothing. See, we don't read everything because if you understood, you would know this is why and how you can tell when you actually are loving someone. Because the things that were described at the beginning, 1 through 3, they don't count in contrast to what love is. Because if you're not doing those things with charity or love, it is nothing. You haven't done nothing. Charity suffereth long. See that? Suffereth long. One of the fruits of the spirit is what? Long suffering. So if you don't suffer long, don't say you have love. Charity is kind, not nice. Kind. Know the difference between one and another. Not nice, kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself. It is not puffed up, doeth not behave itself unseemly. Unseemly behavior. Seeketh not her own. It's not selfish at all. All that self stuff, that's not love. Love is not no self-love. Seeketh not her own. Is not easily provoked. Thinketh no evil. Rejoice not in iniquity. So if you're running around rejoicing and happy and working with people to bring people down, to sow discord, to talk evil amongst other people about somebody else, and you say you love them, that's not love. But it rejoice in the truth. So if you are a liar and you're dishonest and you twist things or you omit things or you forget things, that's not love either. It bears all things, believe all things. So when somebody say, have you forgiven your mother? Have you forgiven your father? Have you forgiven your husband? Have you forgiven your wife? Do you believe in you guys can continue? No, I don't believe they're going to change. Interesting. Hope all things. Are you hopeful for you guys? Or are you hopeful to rebuild a relationship with your mother and your father? Endures all things. Charity never fail, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, because y'all know y'all like them speaking in tongues things, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. When I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child. A lot of us are very, very immature and need to grow up. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. Excuse me. For now we know for now we see through a glass, darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know, even as also I am known. And now abideth faith, hope, charity, these three. But the greatest of these is charity. So when you say you love someone, at least go down this line and see if where did you continuously, because love is everlasting, charity is everlasting, it is eternal, it continues. So see where you continuously exemplify these things and be honest with yourself. But of course, we know majority of you are not going to do that. They're just not, because you rather try to make yourself in the right than allow yourself to be wrong so you can correct it, so you can do the right thing. Hope this goes out here and help somebody. Please love on and with purpose. Please choose to do the right thing. Please love your mothers, your fathers, your sisters, your brothers, your aunts, your uncles, your family members, the people that God has placed in your life for you, for you to touch, that's around you, your churches, your neighbors, especially your husbands, your wives, and your children. Love them as God would want you to love them, not how you feel as though that they should be loved. Do what God knows is best for them, not what you believe is best for them. We got to stop thinking we know everything when we can't even wipe our behind properly. You can't even take care of yourself by yourself, but want to tell other people how to do things. You want to tell people who is clearly more smarter, more knowledgeable, more intelligent, more understanding of how to do certain things, that they are clearly in that area more knowledgeable than you are. When someone comes around that clearly is in a better space than me, I be quiet, because obviously if I have not exceeded them, I need to listen so I can grow and surpass where they are. Because my goal is to get as closest to Christ as possible, become the greatest man that ever has walked this earth. And one thing I know is, even if it's too late for me to be the greatest man that ever walked this earth, as long as I can be 10. Right now, from my loins, I know God has blessed me with the man child that I will help to become one of the greatest men that ever walked this earth. And he holds my name. And he will surpass me. He will achieve where I have failed at, and far supersede myself, my father, my grandfathers, his grandfathers, all the greatest men that we know. He will exceed them all. My job is just to get my baby ready. And I hope that all men, if given the chance, if you're not given the chance and somebody's trying to prevent that, don't worry. God is going to deal with them. And they have no clue. It's strange that they're not at fear for causing division between your children and yourself. But believe you, God is going to deal with them. Just like he deal with you when you do wrong. They're not going to be exempt. It hurts, but please be patient. God is going to deal with them. And they're going to know where it came from. They're going to know that they should have never done what they have done. So those of us, men or women, that are being separated from your children, not allowed to love your children the proper way, I hear y'all sharing those stories on here and everything, and I understand. Just like I just shared a couple of stories about people I know that the children they took care of, they found out it wasn't even there. So I do care about that part. I'm saying you can't complain if you ain't at least doing the bare minimum of trying to be a better person. That's what I'm saying. I speak the way I speak because I'm at least trying to be a better person each and every day. And that's all I'll be telling y'all to do is, hey, find a way to be better. And not the way truth's way. I'm saying go to Christ, read the Bible, learn his ways, and do them. That's what I'm saying. On God, reading his word, and then trying to exemplify what he expects of me in my current life. That's all I know how to do. For me, there is no other way to win because the people around me, they're doing that and they're winning. They're winning. They have everything. And it's not that they don't go through things, it's just the internal is safe and they're able to battle the external together. So for those that love me, like me, and appreciate me, I feel the same way. For those that don't, I feel the same way. And for those that don't want to serve God, that's on you. And for those that want to love improperly and do whatever they want to do and try to cause division amongst family members, amongst children, dang, man. Because, like I said, even me and all my evil that I used to do, I would never bother somebody in their children or their family members and cause division amongst mothers and fathers and siblings and children, especially the children. Y'all out here doing that? Yeah, y'all have no reverence for God. Like y'all would know that that would kindle his anger. You're messing with the babies, and then you're messing with other people's prayers. You're being a stumbling block. You're being evil. You're causing division amongst people's prayers. How you know God? How you say you know God, but you're playing like that? That like I would be terrified right now if I was doing that. But you wake up and go to sleep, just sleeping just as good, doing this stuff out here to each other. I wouldn't want to be in all my days. Because one thing I know, God did not play about his children. He just don't. I know enough and I've read enough of the Bible to see how he has caused his children to crush their enemies. crush them like powder. And when you're on the wrong side, wow. Going to church ain't enough. Singing at church ain't enough. Being part of a church member ain't enough. You have to love God and serve Him and do it. But I think what's happening is this is going to be a learning experience from you. So you have to go through something even horrific for us to then turn and learn and say, you know what? I'm sorry. I should have never done it that way. I'm getting myself together. Just know the thing. Whenever we do wrong, we ask for it. So you people out there and the things you do to people and talk behind their back and collaborate evil amongst yourselves about other people, you got it big time. So the answer to the question, do you really love how you say you do? You absolutely don't. But I pray you get closer to God through Jesus Christ by the way of the Holy Spirit so you actually can start loving how God says love. Once again, He said, love one another as I have loved you. Love one another. That's God. That's how God says love each other. That's how we are to love each other as He would. Once again, choose this day who you will serve. As for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord God of the Bible. Ain't no other way for us. You guys have a good one. Talk to you guys later. Love on it with purpose. Please like, subscribe, share, and support. If you want to hit the Cash App, it's down there on the scroll bar. $ MIG. Excuse me. $MIGUELUILI. All financial support goes to my family and the church that will fortify. If you can't, please like, subscribe, share, comment in the chat, and comment afterwards. It will be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day.